Hi, my name is Elizabeth Sears, and I did my internship at Business West magazine, located in downtown Springfield. Business West refers to themselves as the Business Journal of Western Massachusetts, putting out a biweekly magazine as well as an annual resource guide to 10,000 subscribers with a staff of only 8 full-time employees. My internship supervisor at Business West was the marketing coordinator, although she left a month into my internship, at which point the editor became my supervisor. My internship duties consisted of doing research for the annual resource guide, assisting with events, social media posting, and updating the subscription database. Every year, Business West publishes an annual resource guide listing all businesses, colleges, medical facilities, and restaurants in the Western Mass area. This is a 200-plus page edition and is the company's biggest moneymaker for the year, and many businesses place an ad in this edition as it's used year-round by many businesses. Seen here is an example of one of the many business charts that I had to call to verify information from the business's address and manager to their specific services offered, their website, and pricing. Information differed depending on the type of industry. When explaining how to verify all the information on the charts, George O'Brien, the editor of Business West, told me, "You could look up information on the internet, but a lot of times businesses don't update their websites. Nothing beats calling in person." I think this is good advice, especially in journalism. All the charts that I worked on will end up looking like this in the resource guide. Business West now has the resource guide on their website as a flip book along with the bi-weekly issues. It's becoming more important for them to have a digital presence along with their printed content. Business West puts on 4 events per year: Difference Makers, 40 Under 40, Women of Impact, and Healthcare Heroes. These events supplement their print income. I was assisting the marketing coordinator with the Healthcare Heroes event. This event honors healthcare workers in the area, and due to COVID, they expected a lot of interest in this year's honorees. In addition to the nominations they received for Healthcare Hero Awards this year, they include a lot of nominations from the previous year that scored high with the judges but did not win. I was tasked with verifying the information on all these nominations to ensure it was still accurate. Another task I was assigned for Healthcare Heroes was generating lead lists for all 11 honorees. This entailed researching each honoree in great detail and making a list of their education, previous jobs, association memberships, and more. These lists went to sales representatives who were selling ads for Healthcare Heroes. The leads list took so much time, I found myself far exceeding the 8 hours per week allotted for the internship. I was becoming extremely stressed as I tried to complete the lists, especially when I was given more of the lists to complete. I needed time for my assignments in my other classes, and I wasn't really sure what to do. My internship coordinator informed me that my predicament of too many hours was common with internships and that he would contact them to remind them the 8 hours per week I could do. I decided to remind my internship supervisor of the time constraint, and he made an effort to keep my tasks within that time frame. The Healthcare Heroes event was ultimately postponed. It was interesting to watch the normally in-person event be transformed due to the coronavirus into a hybrid in-person online event, and then again to a totally online event. I had a chance to really see how businesses were trying to adapt during the pandemic. Another one of my internship tasks was doing posts for Business West's social media. I was particularly excited about this task as I felt I may have been a valuable input in this area. Unfortunately, due to the marketing coordinator's departure, I was not able to have any discussions around social media. Here's an example of my social media posts on Business West's Facebook page. The postings came from the current issue of the magazine and directed viewers to the article on the digital issue of Business West's website. It was also important to share a link to any business or organization mentioned in the post. One of the more tedious tasks I was given was doing address corrections in the subscription database. Every week, a stack of returns would come in from the post office. I would search for the subscriber in the database and either correct the address, or if the address was no longer good, I would stop the subscription. I learned this was one small part of maintaining the database, which took hours, many hours a month. Here's the subscription database program Quickfill. I learned that it requires multiple programs to run the business, including the subscription database, the accounting program, a CRM program for sales, and several programs for the art department. These are in addition to the usual Outlook, Word, and Excel that most people use. I enjoyed my internship with Business West. I was given a variety of tasks that crossed several departments, and most importantly, the internship gave me insight as to what it takes to run a publication. This is very valuable experience for someone considering journalism or marketing as a possible future career. My internship at Business West dispelled any romanticized views that I had about working for a magazine or a newspaper by giving me a realistic look what actually goes on behind the scenes of a publication. I learned that it's okay to question assignments and give a little pushback even if you're just an intern. Even though most of my internship was done remotely due to the pandemic, I was still able to have a lot of interaction with Business West staff through email, phone calls, and a couple brief in-person visits. I think future interns would have an even better experience when staff are back on site and they can partake in the daily office ongoings. So in conclusion, I found my internship at Business West to be a very valuable experience, even if at times it was stressful. The knowledge I gained will play into my career path decision-making process, and I'm definitely better prepared to face my next workplace environment. I would highly recommend doing an internship at least once.